Hey you, it's Bia the Prophet here, and I am ready to guide you through a Law of Attraction reading. Welcome! I appreciate each and every light being joining this meeting. Follow me now in this infinite moment for a message for the collective and individuals. Set an intention for this meeting. You already know what you want the reading to clarify. You attracted this reading, and I am cooperating with you. It's mutually beneficial. As I'm pulling the cards, use your intuition as well. Let us know any additional connections you made in the comments below the video, and the collective will benefit from the collective intuition. This is a body, mind, and spirit message addressing the basic human needs for self-actualization aligned with the 9 chakras. Let's start with why Spirit has called this meeting today. The first card to jump out of the deck is the Four of Earth. In the last reading, the card to start us off was also, no, it wasn't. It was what you were meant to acknowledge was a 4. But in this reading, the 4, which a 4 represents structure and stability and manifestation, is now in the spirit position, and what spirit would like you to understand. So we have the 4 of Earth. So we're talking about in the physical world, structure, stability, what you're manifesting. I often feel like these readings from one to the next are so related to one another. Sometimes the subject changes entirely, but generally it's a continuation, kind of like a TV show. And then every few episodes they'll get a whole new overarching theme. So the overarching theme so far with the last reading and this reading is the structure. The Queen of, I don't know why I keep calling the 4 of Earth the Queen of Earth. That's so strange. That's not the first time. Oh, I didn't know this many cards came out. It's not the first time that I've done that. So for me as a reader, there is an alignment between those cards, but for the at this time, but for the author, there is not necessarily an alignment, just so you know. But you're here with me, collected. So the 4 of Earth is about managing your resources wisely. It's about shared goals. It's about feeling like you are part of a team, and understanding diverse skills and opinions. Okay. I'm getting more, but it's not clear yet. So I'm going to move on, and hopefully it'll become more clear as I interpret the remaining cards. In the position, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say this. The spirit position is aligned with the crown chakra. So, like I said, this is what you are meant to understand from your inner being, your source, your guides, what have you, whatever language you use to describe the whole of who you are as you operate on the physical plane. In the position of the mind, which is aligned with the Earth Star chakra, it's what you're meant to acknowledge. So we have the Empress, and the Empress is fertile and abundant. The Empress is feminine energy, divine feminine energy, and that means understanding the art of allowing what you put your energy towards manifesting, allowing it to come in. So sometimes we manifest things and we don't allow them to, excuse me, we don't allow them to be realized. Apologies. Oops, I don't even have my mic. I had to stop the reading because I was cooking something. It's Sunday. I was cooking something and I could smell it. So that's, usually tells you that it's getting close, but it was actually already done and starting to burn. And so I had to take care of that. But I was thinking about while I was doing that, anytime this is my personal practice. Anytime something happens that is less desirable, I try to remember that things are happening for me, not to me. So in that, I can try to figure out why it may be happening for me. So I was making smoked turkey legs. I'm making red beans and rice because I was thinking of what I could eat and what I could make for dinner. And I asked Google, and there was an article about how in Louisiana they make red beans and rice on Monday, which is, it's leftover, using the leftover meat from the roast, whatever was roasted on Sunday or the weekend. So I had all the ingredients. So I said, I'll make that and I'll use smoked turkey legs. Anyway, the smoked turkey legs, the reason why we use them is because they have that smoky flavor. So a little bit, I was able to scrape off what was a little too far gone, and then I was planning on putting it in the slow cooker anyway. And from the slow cooker, things are just tender and falling off the bone, so I was able to add the beans in with the really smoky meat. So it's going to be very smoky, but that's why we like meat that is barbecued or is smoked, because the smoke adds like this bitterness that plays off the flavor that meat already has. So that's just a lesson, and I have non-stick cookware, so no harm was done. And so now my dinner is back on track, and I'm back to the reading on track. We were talking about the Empress, I believe, and how the Empress is the epitome of feminine energy, which is allowing. And what I mean by that is sometimes we can manifest things into the physical world, but we don't allow them to come in. So I actually added a little bit of liquid smoke while I was boiling the smoked turkey down, because smoked turkey pieces don't fit in my small slow cooker. So I could have thought of that situation in a different way, but I actually got more natural smokiness. And I am anticipating these are going to be the best red beans and rice that I have ever had. I'm going to add some andouille sausage, because what I read about in the article in Louisiana, I didn't know that it was such a traditional dish in Louisiana. I'm not from Louisiana, and what they add into it is what I was adding into it. So I'm hoping for a very soulful dinner tonight. I'm excited about that. Anyway, so I allowed it in. I didn't just throw out because, the meat had overgone. I used it for the properties that it that it would have because of what happened. So I'm thinking it's going to be better than ever, and I'm wondering how I would replicate it. But I don't need to replicate it. I can make a different delicious meal next time with whatever my spirit inspires or helps me do. So allowing in what you are trying to manifest is what this card is talking about. That's the message that I'm getting, that this situation is so relevant to the reading that you are currently in the middle of. In the position of body, which aligns with the Gaia chakra, this is what you are meant to trust. We have the energy of the Five of Fire. Now, fives represent change and uncertainty, sometimes even conflict. That conflict can be with yourself, like you see in this card. He is competing against himself. He is practicing. That's called practicing. He is refining himself. So what you are meant to trust is that the more you practice things, the better you will be at them. And the message I'm getting is that you need to forgive yourself for not being good at things that you have not already practiced. You need to, any step in the right direction or in the direction of what you want is an accomplishment, even if it's a slight step. It is an accomplishment. And what you might do, instead of beating yourself up because it wasn't more, is celebrate yourself, forgive yourself for it not being more as a new learner of whatever it is you're learning, and celebrate that you took a small step towards, and those steps will increase if you have that positive mindset. In the position of security, which is aligned with the root chakra, this is how you feel about your sense of security. We have the ego card, and this card was out in the last reading in the position of spirit, what we're meant to understand. And now it's in the position of security, which is aligned with the root chakra, responsible for our feeling of safety. And so it has moved through the chakra, this energy. So this is what you are meant to feel. And so the message from, I'm being guided to give you the same message that this card had in this position of spirit, is that you can be, do, and have whatever you want. Now this card is clarifying this energy. The Five of Fire, which we talked about, is about practicing and forgiving yourself for not being the best at something when you first start out. But every little step does get you closer to your goal. So you can be, do, and have whatever you want. Also clarifying is the Knight of Fire. This aligns in the health position, aligns with the sacral chakra, and it is what you care about. The sacral chakra is the chakra of creativity and vitality. This is what you care about, what you're meant to take care of, either nurtured or cut out. I've joked before that I almost always say that the Knight of Fire is the fastest moving knight in the tarot deck. And in this position, what you're meant to, because it's a court card, you are meant to nurture the attributes of the card. The Knight of Fire is passionate, confident, and charismatic. The Knight can be restless in their shadow, and so that's why we talked about not wanting to be at the finish line, wanting to enjoy the progress that is made day by day by day. So you don't need to go fast, but if you take a step and celebrate that, remaining in the positive energy, forgiving yourself, not beating up on yourself, you will move faster. That's my personal experience. You will move faster. I was inspired over here and now I'm getting it again, so I'm just going to tell you this story. So I wanted to start working out. I hate working out, and it's just no fun, but the benefits are undeniable. But the message I was getting was that you don't need pain for gain. You only need to desire something, and then your source, your spirit, your inner being, your guides, whatever name you use, will make a way. But you have to allow it in once that way is made. And so I decided that I was going to start doing squats, and I was going to absolutely enjoy it. And whenever I didn't enjoy it, I was going to stop. And then I was using this opportunity to practice forgiving myself for not being good at something when I first started out. And I literally did like one squat, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. And so I stopped, gave myself a little pat on the back, and I was like, you did great. You did one squat, which was way more squats than I had done in the last, 3 months, years, whatever. So I had done a great job. I had taken a step. And then the next day I was kind of like excited to just do as many as I could and forgive myself and celebrate with myself, just pat myself on the back, because it was an accomplishment to do one. And so the next day I did like 3. And, I was kind of chuckling to myself like it's a joke. It's funny. I was having fun with it because, it's not usually anything that you celebrate, but I was finding a way to celebrate it. Within like 2 weeks, I was doing 100 squats, and I found a way to make the counting fun. Like I was counting like the count from Sesame Street, and I added music in. I was adding leg lifts, so I would squat and then do a leg lift, and then I had all kinds of different things I would do when I was up from the squat. So I was doing multiple exercises. I added in hand weights. Like I was just keeping it fresh and new and fun, and kind of laughing about it. And when I realized it was only 2 weeks later and I was already doing 100 squats, I was like, whoa. I literally stopped doing squats after that, because I was like, I don't need to put in a lot of painful effort to get something done. What I need to do, this is the lesson my spirit was trying to give to me. All I need to do is put in positive energy, to put in love, to put in fun, to put in trust that a way would be made. And so I stopped exercising, and I just noticed, the results. I ended up suddenly, and not too long later, I noticed I had like a 6-pack, and I was like, what? Where did this 6-pack? How do I have a 6-pack? And I don't exercise. And my body was becoming more and more toned, and different things were happening that brought that in. There was this volunteer opportunity where I was moving things around, with my coworkers and stuff like that. And so I was like, practical workout, I didn't even need to work out because this is a practical workout. So I really, when I was moving things around, like furniture boxes, things like that, not heavy stuff. It was at work, so they don't want to pay for workman's comp. But when I was moving things around, I was very mindful all the time. Every time I went upstairs, and I would choose stairs for a couple of flights up, just because I could, and I would try to have fun with it, but I would be very mindful of the muscles that were benefiting from me taking the stairs as opposed to the elevator. So I was exercising through my normal routines of life, but I was really focused on those muscles, which is what they say you should do when you are exercising, and that increases the effectiveness of your exercising. And that's because you are using your energy to create the muscles into what you want them to be. And the exercise is just an assist. It's a way for you to allow it in, because if you're not going to allow your muscles to become more defined without doing anything, you won't allow that in, you won't believe it that it's possible, then why is your spirit going to do that? It's just going to scare you. You know, you're going to be at the doctor like, oh, something's wrong. I have a six pack and I haven't exercised. But I was excited about that when it happened to me. And I have to try to maintain it by just noticing that it is. And I didn't do anything for it. Like, that's a low-key miracle, right? So, it's just a little story about how the law of attraction works. You can be, do, and have whatever you want. You just have to understand how the law works. All right, so we had this card come out. Then these two cards, the one on the bottom is first. And then this will be our answer at the end. So we talked about the Knight, and we're here in the position of esteem. This is aligned with the solar plexus chakra, so it's what you do. It's your best quality and skill. We have the energy of the Justice card. Is it the Justice card? It is the Justice card, just making sure. The Justice card is about making decisions that are best for you. Making decisions that are best for you. This is the best quality and skill to use for the actualization. So the best for me was not to suffer, because suffering it doesn't feel good, right? It's suffering. But laughing and having a good time just all by myself does feel good. So the best decision for me, because I suffer through exercise. I know some people enjoy it, right? They feel like they get endorphins, and I'm not saying that they don't, I'm saying what they've reported. They get endorphins. It makes them overall more happy. Some people report that it's like a meditation. So it depends on you. What I want and what you want could be different things. It doesn't matter. It matters that you feel good doing what you're doing. So making good choices for you, that is the best quality and skill to use for the actualization. And then we have in the position of belonging, which aligns with the heart chakra. So what you love, how you create the love energy that you need for the actualization, we have the wheel. So the wheel talks about a fresh new start and the end of delays. So perhaps someone out there collected with us is starting a new exercise routine, and they are wondering how they can stick to it this time. So I gave an example with regards to an exercise routine. I also told you that you don't need an exercise routine if that's what's getting in your way. Remember, these two cards are clarifying the message from this card. So start a new exercise routine if you want, if it feels good to you. But if it doesn't feel good, then just start manifesting the body that you want. And the whole universe will conspire to get you what you want, if you will allow it in. Like sometimes, I don't know if you've ever seen that show Survivor. That show Survivor is the best weight loss, the best weight loss solution I have ever seen, because everybody, regardless, everybody loses weight. They are doing practical exercises. So if you love that show, maybe you want to apply instead of trying to struggle through the suffrage of losing weight. Do something that you love to lose the weight, because that is another way. Start volunteering somewhere where there's a practical workout for the body parts that you want to target. There are so many ways to lose weight. Just walking around is so good, and I have seen personally so many people lose weight just because they add walking into their life. Not running, not working out, just walking. And it's like pounds melt away so fast that people are like, what have you been doing in there? Oh, I've just been taking a walk at lunchtime every day, or something so simple. And you're like, what? That's all it takes? But then people think, oh, I'm going to join a gym so I can lose weight too. And then they hate it, and then they don't lose weight, and then they wonder why, because you hate it. You're just manifesting doing something that you hate with that hate energy. But with love energy, you manifest things that you love. In the position of the actualization, we have the Queen of Water. The Queen was out in the last reading as well. In this position, the actualization position is aligned with the throat chakra. So this is how you express yourself in the actualization. So the message I'm getting from this card is the same as I was getting in the past, in the previous reading, which is you will receive inspiration. I know for me, it took practice to discern the inspiration, and my spirit, I found, gives me ideas. Now, they are not always the ideas that actually get the results that I am desiring, but I also get the conversation around it, like, oh, last time we tried that, it didn't work. I wondered what else I can do. And usually I have heard something or seen something recently that is the right idea. So my spirit puts into my mind the idea that I would normally have, and then talks to me about how it didn't work last time and what did we learn from that. And then, oh yeah, we just saw this in a movie or a TV show. Let's try that. Sometimes things that didn't work in the past work later for me, because I didn't quite understand the directions, or the person that gave the instructions wasn't completely clear, and you need to do it in a certain way, So I just think that this card is talking about you receiving the information that you need psychically, and it's going to be ideas. But if you notice, it's going to feel good. So it's not inspired. It's your ego talking when it doesn't feel good. These things, these ideas, these thoughts that come into your head. I eventually noticed that when my spirit is speaking to me directly, the voice is not the same. It's not the same voice as when my ego is speaking. It's a nuanceical difference, but my voice doesn't even sound like, ooh, that's it. It sounds like my voice recorded. When I listen back and I'm like, that doesn't sound like me. My spirit's voice sounds like me on the outside that everybody else hears. My ego voice sounds like the voice that I hear. So that was the first time I really made that connection. Let's see if we can get a message from Spirit using this deck of cards that would further clarify the reading. So I'm getting additional. Hey, I'm meant to tell you that the Five of Fire, which is here in the body position, has the same what's the word I want to use? The same energy. Yes, that's the word. The same energy, but it's what the guide that is helping you with this helps you with. So it's the Judgment card. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the guidebook to see what is the specialty of the Archangel or the Judgment card. And I'm almost there. The pages are stuck. Oh, I already had it open to the right page. Anyway, Archangel Jeremiah is known for helping you review your situation, excuse me, so you can choose the path that you will take next. Discuss your thoughts and feelings honestly with those you love. So the indication is that you might get some additional ideas. I was talking about exercise with regards to this as an example of what we're talking about. But your particular situation could have to do with any of the number of things that human beings are concerned with. So I'm not suggesting you ask for anyone's advice. I'm suggesting that you tell people what you're trying to do, what you are trying to manifest. So in the case of exercising or losing weight or something like that, tell people, anybody that you run into, because you're manifesting people in your life at certain times, whomever calls, whomever, you have an opportunity to have a conversation with, tell them that you are trying to, whatever the goal is, lose weight in our example, in the most fun way possible. And then somebody might give you an idea that you haven't thought about. That's God. That's how your source works. It sends messages however you will allow them in. So this is advice from Spirit for someone. Managing your resources wisely. The words of wisdom that came out were release toxic relationships. And so the message that I'm getting is that your release your negative relationship with whatever it is that we are talking about in this reading. Whatever it is that you're concerned with, your negative thought about your goal is what is keeping you from realizing that goal. So release the toxic relationship that you have with your goal and invite your guide, spirit, source, what have you, invite them to help you see the positive. That's what you can pray for, if prayer is the word you use, but that's what you can expect, which is what people tell you you need to do when you pray. You need to expect it. It is done when you think about it. And so now, after you think about it, you're looking out for it to come. So you're expecting it to come. You're anticipating is a more positive way. You're anticipating your answer to come from one of the people that you run into, or it could come in a TV show, a movie, anything that you're doing that you enjoy. Excuse me. And then we have the 8 of water. Hold on, I need to get a drink. Sorry about that. I always think when I'm having a problem speaking, that is part of the message. And so we had the queen in the actualization position, which is aligned with the throat chakra. So it may be the case that you just thought, I don't want to tell everybody. That's stupid. Okay, then don't. Ask for your guides to give it to you in whatever way you can best receive it. And they know you. They're around you. They're helping you. They are on your team. So ask them to give it to you in the way that you can receive it. I can receive it in that way. I can receive it in a lot of ways, but that's because I practice receiving, you know? So whatever you can do now, and then forgive yourself for not being better at receiving. Hold on. Throat chakra is acting up. Anyway, so I'm trying to tell you about this 8 of water. So the 8 of water is about leaving things behind. Leaving things behind. And wow, look. This card also has the same energy. See, you can see it has the 20. That's the number of the Justice card. What was the other card? There were 3. Oh no, it was these 2 cards. Because I already showed you. Anyway, I'm like, where's the other card? It's this card. But anyway, the 8 is traditionally about walking away from something, leaving behind in the answer position. It is aligned with the intuitive chakra. So it's what you are meant to learn, what you're meant to see is that you can leave things behind that don't have the value that you thought. So in this picture, you see he has a lockable trunk with a lock, and he has these glimmering cups. So we have to assume that the cups are valuable, because otherwise, why are they in a trunk that locks, right? And so we're talking about value related to things you value or beliefs, right? Your values. So in this picture, the trunk is, he's leaving, the trunk is open, but the lock is locked. So it can't really be locked now because the lock is closed. So it doesn't even fool anybody, but the trunk is wide open. So if anybody wants to take these beliefs, let them have those beliefs. And you take the one belief that you really need, which is that you can be, do, and have whatever you want. Do you believe that? If you don't, then you can't be or do or have whatever you want because you don't believe it. So you need to believe that, and that's what you need to take with you. This is the same card as the Fool card, which is starting a new journey, which is what we were talking about here, but we're looking at the character from behind as he's walking away towards the new journey. In the Fool card, we see him from the front in embarking on that new journey. So he has left some things behind in order to start the new journey. And usually what you need to leave behind is beliefs that, like the belief that things aren't working out for you, or the belief that you can't be, do, and have whatever you want, whatever it is. So you need to release the words of wisdom. The toxic relationship that you have, which is negative thoughts about your goal. That's what I have for now. Take this message however it resonates for you, and look forward to the components of this message showing up in the coming hours, days, and weeks in different ways. That's just how the law of attraction works. Until next time, remember, you and you alone create your reality.